Welcome back to Gear for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 763, we're going to talk about Lorcan, the Warlock Collector. So for 7, we get a 6/6 Flying Devil. Whenever a creature card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you may pay life equal to its mana value. If you do, put it onto the battlefield under your control. It's a Warlock in addition to its other types. If a Warlock you control would die, exile it. So this is kind of a total package strategy here. There's two things we want to be doing here. We want to, number one, kill creatures, which is in Black's wheelhouse, so that's perfect. And then number two, we need to gain some life, because I don't know about y'all, but I'm personally not responsible enough to have anything that says pay life do a thing, because I'll pay it all. So we've got to pay some life. So let's look at our... Well, first off, Lorcan costs 7 mana, so let's look at our ramp, per se. We're mono black, so our options are, I started off with Dark Ritual. We're playing mono black, so there's no reason not to. Wayfarer's Bauble, Soul Ring. I'm trying out Soul Talisman. I got, I don't know, half a dozen of these things, and y'all have seen them in a few other decks. I have yet to draw one, or it seems like it would be pretty decent in a Cascade. I don't know. I have no opinion about it yet, because I haven't actually, it's never come up. Mind Stone, Guardian Idol, Charcoal Diamond, Leaden Mirror, Cabal Ritual, Ebony Fly. I even if you discount all of the die rolling things, it's 2 mana for a tapped mana rock, right? I mean, Worn Power Stone, Pristine Talisman. That I really like, because, you get the life off of it. Spectral Searchlight. That sweet new art on Commander Sphere. Now, would this not be gorgeous foil? Oh, straight out of like Star Wars or something. Seer's Lantern, Everflowing Chalice, Sisay's Ring, and Dreamstone Heater. Now, I know that's a bunch, but our whole strategy revolves around having our commander in play. So, let's look at some life gain. We have just good old-fashioned giving the creature lifelink. Basilisk Collar is pretty good too, the whole Death Touch and lifelink. Vampiric Link, nice. Blood Artist was a perfect fit for the deck, because, we want to kill things, so we're going to be gaining a life off of that, and I like the fact that you get to selectively choose what you want to, bring back as a Warlock. Reaper's Talisman is a new one. When it attacks alone, they lose 2, you gain 2. The pair of vampires, the Gifted Aetherborn and the Vampire Nighthawk, just because they're really good and have the life link. Siphon Soul. Now, Siphon Soul, this card was made for Commander long before Commander was a thing, right? The original came out in like Legends, but the bigger the game, the better it is for Siphon Soul. Dread Presence, that landfall trigger. Herald of Hadar. There's a 50% chance that you're gonna, and it is a Warlock, so it does kind of fit the theme. Palace Siege, excuse me. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2, so that's not bad. Gary, the ultimate mono black life gain. I mean, that's a monster. Pontiff of Blight. Now, I think it's prudent to explain the extort here. Extort, color identity does not take into account reminder text. There is no white mana symbol on the card, technically. It is in the reminder text, and the reminder text does not count toward color identity. That is how the Pontiff of Blight can be in a mono black deck. But other creatures you control have extort. That's probably the most... of course, it does cost 6 mana. But the biggest extort because you can just pay and, gain some life. Corrupt, that's just number of swamps. We're playing mono black. Now, Archon of Cruelty sees played in a lot of formats. I face this down on turn 2 in the modern charity event that we organized. And this is scary. It's scary on turn 2 especially. And it does the Titan-esque thing when it enters or attacks. So, giving this thing haste was just a beating. Good old-fashioned drain life. For when you absolutely positively just mana equals life, let's do this. And then since we are gaining all that life, Sanguine Bond seems to... Now, yes, the rest of the Blood Bond combo is not in here. Totally would be if I had it. But now, things that trigger on stuff dying, Ogre Slumlord, just because other creatures dying. 1/1 Black Death Touchers, that can keep a lot of things off of you. Now, granted, you're still susceptible to flyers, but and then Harvester of Souls in this sweet old frame. Drawing cards every time a non-token creature dies, that seems like a pretty good thing. Which naturally rolls us into card draw, which is, we need to gain some life, because in black, our card draw is going to cost us life. Knife Whispers, Read the Bones, Underworld Connections, and Ambition's Cost. Before we get to removal, I have 3 odd cards. Felden's Cane. We do have a ton of instants and sorceries. Maybe a Strixhaven theme with Mage. I don't know. Swiftfoot Boots, because we're going through a lot of work to cast our 7-drop. We sure don't want it to die needlessly. And then Diabolic Tutor. I don't know. I'm fine with tutors. I am, 1, 2, whatever. I'm not fine with like the 19 tutors, whatever. Just to go and get the instant win combo piece. There is no instant win combo piece here. It's just grabbing that piece that I need. And with my luck, I generally end up tutoring for a land. So, our removal is a bunch. We have Tragic Slip, which, is probably going to... Now, keep in mind, we don't have to kill the creatures. There's other players at the table who are killing creatures, and then we're paying a life to get those. So, Feed the Swarm, great in Mono Black, Doomblade, Cruel Edict, Diabolic Edict, Cast Down. Dry Spell don't get a lot of love, I know. But there are times when you look around and there's a lot of one toughness creatures. Fleshbag Marauder is perfect for the deck because this is going to get you multiple creatures. And depending on what they sacrifice, now granted everybody's going to sacrifice their, least favorite creature. But there are times this can net you some stuff here. Seal of Doom, Murder. I like the Eradicator Valkyrie. It's got lifelink and the sack a creature. Everybody sacks a creature thing, so that's kind of nice. This is another way the Ogre Slumlord helps us, is by generating those rat tokens that we really don't care anything about, so we can sack them to the Valkyrie or the Fleshbag or whatever. That lizard that eats all the goats, the Ravenous Chuppa thingy. 187's a creature when it comes in, as does the Shriek Maw. Now, Manticore, given that destroys target creature opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. I don't know. Here again, with the Forgotten Realms commanders, I try to use as many Forgotten Realms cards as possible, and this kind of loosely fit the theme. We're going to try it. It may not work. I don't think I'm lucky enough to get this and the Dry Spell in hand at the same time. Panic Button, Nevernal's Disc. Sometimes you got to do it. Crux of Fate and Blood on the Snow. No, I do not have snow-covered lands in the deck, but I did get a whole bunch of Blood on the Snows. All creatures are all walkers. In my local play group, the creatures is going to matter more than the walkers, but there are times. And then I consider Death Grip removal. It is permanent and double black to counter a green spell. That's pretty good. I mean, yeah, to just repeatedly be able to do this. So that takes us to our non-basic lands. We don't have a lot. A couple cycling lands. Desert of the Glorified and Barren Moor. Good old Bajuka Bog. Why not? And then lastly, our Rogue's Passage, because we do have a giant flying commander, you know? I mean, so that is Lorcan. Kind of straightforward. Kill things and take them. I masoned out the deck with full basics. We will put Lorcan back in there. I should probably put some rat tokens in there so that I can have them. I like to keep the tokens in the deck so that, you know, you're not searching for them. So that one is on the wall. It is done. And I do appreciate everybody watching, liking, subscribing. All you new viewers, thank you so much for joining the party. But that's all I've got for today. So we are going to go ahead and shuffle and cut.